What's up everyone, and welcome back to KO News. In this video, we're diving into some of the boldest stories rocking the MMA world. From Joe Rogan's surprising take on a supposedly boring champion, to the backup fighters gunning for Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett. It's going to be an absolute roller coaster. And if you stick around, you'll hear all about Dana White's shocking entrance into the boxing world, Tom Aspinall's blunt ratings of UFC stars, and the MMA community's reaction to Jon Jones's unexpected new look. Before we jump in, be sure to smash that like button to show your support. It really helps out the channel. Let's get started. Ever since Alex Pereira lost to Magomed Ankalaev, fight fans have been split down the middle. Some accuse the UFC of installing boring champs, but the always outspoken Joe Rogan sees it differently. He found the fight not just entertaining, but also a masterclass in neutralizing a ferocious powerhouse like Pereira. For those who missed it, Ankalaev and Pereira squared off in a main event that left many expecting fireworks, especially since Pereira has a habit of putting opponents to sleep with his heavy hands. Instead, it became a technical chess match. Ankalaev harnessed his wrestling and movement, systematically shutting down Pereira's biggest weapons. Rogan applauded this approach, calling Ankalaev a menace in the division. But was the UFC hesitant to book this match in the first place? Rumors floated around that the promotion didn't want to risk Pereira's star power by pitting him against such a stylistic threat. After all, Pereira's bombs have earned him a reputation as a showstopper. The general consensus is that the fight was a risk. The unstoppable force of Pereira's striking meets the immovable object of Ankalaev's grappling. It happened, and it wasn't the barn burner some hoped for. Still, experts like Rogan argue it was mesmerizing for those who appreciate technical prowess. Whether fans want a swift rematch or a new challenger remains to be seen. Ankalaev's track record is near flawless, and his victory over a marquee name like Pereira further solidifies his place atop the division. Let me know your take in the comments. Was it a lackluster main event, or did we witness a tactical masterclass? Because trust me, we haven't heard the last of this rivalry. But that's not the entire story swirling around the UFC these days, especially when it comes to highly anticipated matchups. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett has been labeled a dream fight in the making. The hype is almost as big as the controversy surrounding it. Yet, there's always the looming possibility that one of them may not make it to fight night. Enter a parade of fighters eagerly volunteering to step in. One bold call-out came from Mauricio Rufy, a rising lightweight who lit up social media by declaring that if either Paddy or Chandler pulls out, the UFC just has to pick up the phone and dial his number. Mauricio's confidence isn't exactly baseless. He showcased serious knockout power in his last outing, leaving fans buzzing that he could be a dark horse replacement. But he's not alone. Jared Gordon is another fighter who wants to get his hands on Paddy Pimblett, specifically to avenge a controversial decision loss from December 2022. Many watchers scored that fight for Gordon, but the official nod went to Paddy. Given how hotly debated that outcome was, it's no shock Gordon's clamoring for a rematch. On top of that, he's also friendly with Chandler, making for an intriguing subplot. So if fight fans do end up seeing a late-notice replacement, who do you want it to be? Someone new and hungry like Mauricio, or a revenge-driven Jared Gordon? Let me know, because whichever direction the UFC goes, fans are guaranteed some serious fireworks. Confidence has never been an issue for Paddy Pimblett, aka The Bee. Known for his brash personality and ability to sway the crowd, he recently had a face-off with Chandler that left many people stunned by how much bigger Paddy looked. According to Pimblett, a size advantage is just one of the many weapons in his arsenal. It doesn't stop there. In his latest video, Paddy responded to critics claiming he'll get flattened by Chandler's power. He basically said, "They won't even get near me." Fans recall his run-ins with seasoned strikers like Bobby Green, but Paddy insists his stand-up is on a whole new level. Chandler, with his explosive style, might not be ready for the evolution of Pimblett's skill set. Is it hype or a legitimate shift in approach? That's the million-dollar question. What's clear is that Pimblett has singled out Chandler for underestimating him. The swagger could come from a genuine training camp transformation, or it might be typical fight week bravado. But as always with Paddy, it's as entertaining as it is unpredictable. You can't talk about UFC without bringing up the man behind the curtain, Dana White. For years, White has teased the idea of shaking up the boxing industry. Now, it's official. White joined forces with Saudi Arabia's Turki Al-Sheikh to create TKO Boxing, a league promising to reinvent the sweet science. This new venture claims it'll mimic the UFC's centralized structure, champions under one banner, consistent matchmaking, you name it. But not everyone's rolling out the red carpet. Eddie Hearn, a well-known figure in the boxing world, warned White to be ready for sleepless nights and double crosses. Boxing, Hearn says, is a chaotic business where you have to sleep with one eye open. He also hinted that if TKO Boxing tries to adopt the UFC's pay structure, where the promotion holds considerable leverage over fighter pay, there might be an all-out war with established players. Will TKO Boxing revolutionize a sport that's often criticized for shady politics and mismatched fights? Or will it fall into the same pitfalls? White obviously isn't naive. He's repeatedly said boxing is riddled with problems. The question is whether even his brand of shock and awe promotion can fix that. One thing's for sure, the competition for fight fans' attention is about to get more intense than ever. Now, let's shift gears back to MMA. Tom Aspinall has quickly carved out a place for himself as one of the heavyweight division's most exciting talents. He's known for high fight IQ and finishing abilities. Recently, Aspinall was asked to rate several major UFC names, and the results sparked heated debate among fans. For instance, he gave Michael Chandler a 7, while awarding higher scores to the likes of Alex Pereira and Dricus du Plessis. Chandler's legions of supporters might disagree, but it all depends on how you evaluate fighter skill versus accomplishments. Aspinall also gave Sean Strickland and Alexander Volkanovski strong marks, nodding to their unique styles and consistent performance. One intriguing omission was Islam Makhachev. Considering Makhachev has bested Volkanovski twice, many wonder if Aspinall would rate Islam even higher. The speculation alone got fans chatting about whether Makhachev is the unstoppable monster some claim, or if his recent featherweight challengers are overshadowing the rest of the lightweight division. Speaking of that, let's look at some potential matchups that could reshape the title picture entirely. In the aftermath of Justin Gaethje besting Rafael Fiziev, the 155-pound weight class has become even more enthralling. Daniel Cormier has taken the liberty of suggesting how the division could play out. According to DC, Ilia Topuria, the latest featherweight sensation to eye a jump to lightweight, should get the next crack at Islam Makhachev. That leaves Gaethje to face Arman Tsarukyan, with the winner getting the next title shot. Sounds fair, right? Well, Cormier also points out a looming problem. If Makhachev beats Topuria, it might not boost Makhachev's legacy the way he hopes. Critics could say he beat yet another featherweight, referencing the fact that he already holds 2 victories over Alexander Volkanovski, the 145-pound king. Makhachev himself has hinted that he'd prefer moving up in weight over repeatedly facing smaller opponents. But if the rumored fights for next year's UFC 317 pan out, fans could see Makhachev versus Topuria and possibly Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev, a pair of thrilling matchups that could catapult the winners into legendary status. Whether Makhachev's naysayers choose to acknowledge that is another matter. The UFC might be witnessing a generational shift, or it might be building new hype that fizzles. Either way, these fights promise plenty of drama. When talking about UFC legends, BJ Penn is almost always in the conversation. But lately, his name has come up for deeply concerning reasons. In a series of clips posted online, Penn appeared to not recognize his own mother, insisting an imposter had taken her place. Understandably, fans and fellow fighters alike are worried about his mental and emotional health. A handful of folks, including Jared Gordon, have speculated whether something more sinister, like heavy drug use, might be fueling Penn's bizarre claims. Gordon, who's been open about his own struggles with addiction, pointed out that paranoia and delusions often go hand in hand with certain substances. It's tragic to see one of MMA's pioneering icons in such a distressing state. While the exact cause remains unknown, the main hope is that Penn receives the help he needs. We'll keep an eye on this story as it develops, and we send him our best in recovering from whatever is plaguing him. In a world where fashion statements might not typically grab headlines, Jon Jones proved that the simplest change, like a fresh haircut, can stir an entire fan base. The longtime champion revealed a distinctive arrow-like hairstyle that immediately drew comparisons to a popular fantasy cartoon. Naturally, the MMA community latched onto the comedic potential. Some joked it's an avatar arrow, while others teased that the direction of the arrow indicates the way he'll fall if Tom Aspinall tags him. The haircut jokes quickly morphed into accusations of ducking Aspinall, as fans demanded a heavyweight showdown. After all, Aspinall's big wins have turned him into the new boogeyman at heavyweight, a fresh face brimming with confidence. Of course, none of this directly means Jones is avoiding Aspinall, but the timing has people buzzing. As always, the champ is an easy target for social media barbs, especially when he's not rushing back to defend the belt. Whether the rumored match actually comes together or not, Jones's new style has the MMA world talking. One thing is certain, love him or hate him, Jon Jones can't make a move without setting the internet ablaze. And there you have it. The UFC and combat sports landscape are as unpredictable as ever. Joe Rogan believes we might be overlooking how dangerous certain boring champions truly are, even if fans yearn for highlight reel finishes. As for Chandler and Paddy Pimblett, there's already a hot list of contenders ready to jump in if either man slips out. Meanwhile, Dana White's bold new TKO boxing venture might flip the traditional boxing game on its head, or it might clash with the sport's entrenched power brokers. Tom Aspinall continues to stake his claim as one of the most intriguing heavyweights around, rating UFC stars with a frankness that ruffles some feathers. At the same time, Daniel Cormier sees the lightweight division as a puzzle just waiting to be solved by carefully orchestrated matchups. We're also seeing a sobering side of MMA, with concerns for BJ Penn's well-being overshadowing his legendary resume. And finally, Jon Jones, never short on controversy, has unveiled a new look that's got everyone asking if he'll ever return to defend his crown, or if he's simply biding his time. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give this video a big thumbs up and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you see Ankalaev becoming the next unstoppable champion? Should Makhachev move up in weight rather than battle another featherweight? How do you feel about Dana White's push into boxing? And is Jon Jones ducking Tom Aspinall or just enjoying life at the top? Finally, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload from KO News. We appreciate your time, and we can't wait to bring you more shocking exposés, rumors, and updates on everything MMA. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next one.